So the custom attribute you can have on QGIS, each layer can have a form associated with it. What you saw me do quickly before we bring up the drop-down list is the built-in forms. We're going to skip those. I'll do a quick intro on those. We'll skip them and then go to the custom stuff. The custom forms let you do completely new layouts, change those, tables and tabs, images and things like that. And then we'll whack a bit of Python on that to do not validation, just highlight features. You probably should have everything installed you need. You've already done this course, or you've got the QGIS and the dev stuff installed, so it's fine. So we'll open up QGIS first, and we open up the project that you should have the sample data I sent out. So it looks like this. Build stuff. So we've got not inspected, non-compliant and compliant for the tools. So the forms that by default, we use our info tool, identify tool. Click on a feature, we just get a simple form. Nothing fantastic, no validation. If we're going to import one, destroy your data. If we do editing, we just get line edits to stuff. So with the built-in type, the built-in forms, QGIS can generate drop-down lists, calendar pickers, images, like an image picker, color picker, and things like that as well. So if you want to make this build type a drop-down box from all the existing values that are already in the table, double-click on your tools layer. Select the Fields tab. And you've got all your fields here listed. You've got what length they are, what type, like database type they are, and the name, aliases and things like that. So the edit type is what shows up in the form when you pick it, when you open format to edit the feature. So for fill type, fence type, and we'll just do this for now. For fill type and fence type, we'll change them to, we'll first click on the edit widget button. You can change it to unique values. So it selects all the values in that current field in the table and makes a list out, a unique list in the drop-down box automatically. So do unique values for that. Fence type will do the same. Unique values. Press OK on that. Press OK on properties dialog. Now when we open up the attribute form for the feature, we've got drop down list for that column. This way it stops people from entering invalid data in that field. Same with that column. There's date pickers. Full list of widget types are here. So you've got ranges, you can use a spinner or a scale bar type thing. Get a file name if you want someone to pick up a photo or something like that. Value map, we can add in a key value pair. So the value could be test, the description could be my test data. So if we press OK on that, and we go to the fill type table field again in our attribute form, it's got my test data there. But the actual data that's stored in the table, the database, the layer, is test. So you can sort of mask the actual data, look up values and things like that. We might have codes, if you want to take care of the code, just care of the name of it. We've also got, never actually used that, so just keep that. Mutable. Hidden, you can hide things from there so people don't see it at all. Checkbox. It's customizable for what the true state is and what the false to state is. So that way you can, if your data stores yes, no, you can store yes, no there, YN, or TF, or 10. If you work with mapping, I think it's TF, so it changes to TF rather than 10. Text edit is actually a block of text. So rather than a single line, we actually have a paragraph of text. calendar picker, obviously for dates. Value relation. Value relations are quite handy. This is where you can have another table with values and take the values from that table and put into that drop-down box or a list box. So you can have, I've got a layer over here called form values, which is an attribute table. I'll show you what's in that. So if you open up the form values attribute table, so just right click, go open attribute table. Thanks for that. F2, no, not F2. I'll open that up. So in here we've got, so we've got description, type, and a filter column. So the filter column here is what control I want to only show these values for. So not every value in this table applies to every field basically. So this one here is for fence type, and this one is for pool type. So you have one big giant table with all the different combo values in it and filter it. So we go to the pools table, and we go to the pool type field. Change this to value relation. We've got layer is the form values layer, which is the attribute table, which is the plain attribute table, no geometry. And we've got key and value columns. So the key column is the column that shows up in the description, pretty sure, yes, shows up in the combo box. So we'll make that description column. The value column is the one that gets stored in the database. I'll do it every time. So we'll make that type. But we also want to do order by value. Allow null value as well, so people can have none selection on that. And allow multiple selections will actually generate a list box with tick boxes. So you can pick multiple values from that and it puts into one giant string. So it's good for condition rating, things like that, if there's cracks and things like that. Things will tick multiple off rather than single. The filter expression will limit the number of attributes that are returned from that table and put into that combo box. So we get a filter on that. We're going to make the filter column equals pool type. Yes. So it will filter any of those values down in the attribute table. So only stuff that specifies that, anything that satisfies, only the values that satisfy that condition is shown up in the combo box. So we press OK on that. Go back. OK on the properties dialog box. Do info on our pool. And these pool types are coming out of that form values table. So to add a new value here, all you have to do is add to that table. So if you had a CSV or a database table stored in a database somewhere, you had 5 users using the same project, you can basically update that one table. When they open the project, you'll get the new values and then the new combo box values. So it saves having to update the project every single time the user needs some new values in it. So we'll probably just jump straight. That's the basic forms. We might just do custom form stuff. So for custom form stuff, pick a couple of fields on cover. Let's do has dog, pool type, fence type, and compliant. So has dog is going to be a tick box. There's no pool type, fence type is going to be these three here. These three here are going to be group boxes. Combo boxes, sorry. And we might do inspector as well. So we'll do inspector. Inspector can just be a plain type box. You can type anything you want in limit to a combo box. So to make custom form, you open up the pools layer. Change this to provide UI file. This will probably have a default path. It's to nothing. We have to actually make a UI file first in a different program. and then give it to QGIS to use. And it will open that UI file dynamically on the fly every time, so you can change it in the designer, or change it in QGIS for you. So just leave that as is and hit apply on that, that's fine. We'll come back to that and change it in a second. So navigate to the designer lives in C, OSGeo, OSG for that. Under bin, and there's a designer.exe. Make a shortcut in your desktop or start there. We fire that up. We get a basic, we get some options to make. Like the buttons at the bottom, buttons at the top, no buttons. We don't need these two options at all. We'll stick with the buttons at the bottom.
Well, if you say that's, I think it's stupid.
Yeah, right about that. I'll go too fast. Let me know. Sorry.
Does anyone want to try and find it? Do you want to just go through it? Yeah.
As a pathway.
No, zoom in back. What's the other thing?
Design.exe. Yeah. Okay. So in the designer, once you're the design, just click create. As soon as that first dial comes up, I'll ask you for like basic defaults to hit OK on that and go through to see this form. So at this point here, we've got a list of controls and groups that we can put onto the form. QGIS doesn't respect all those controls in terms of being able to put values in them. We have to make bindings in QGIS to say this value translates this way to this control. It's just a matter of finding what people want and add them as we go. The things it supports checkboxes, group boxes, calendar pickers, most of the basic type controls. So we do expand out the input widgets section. You can also type a filter up here. So if I say add a combo box or add a label or anything like that, you can type label up here and it'll give you label, only label. So you don't have to navigate the list every time. You can just type it up here and get it out. So what that, we'll need some labels first. So we'll go label. Just click and drag onto the form. So we need 4 or 5 labels. Probably a header as well. So we'll drag a label in. On this side here we have the properties for that label. We change fonts, margins, how the cursor looks, pretty much everything. We want to change the text. This is also filterable. So if you type in the filter section, you type here, type in text, you get the Q label text field before it's filtered down. So this one's going to just be our full inspection. That's a bit weak. So I'm going to change the font. So just type in font in our filter, get our font properties. Look at our point size and just rank it up. Make it bold. So we need 5 fields, I think. I'll check out attribute table again. So we're doing as dogs, field type, fence type, client, and inspector. 5. So you need 5 labels, so just chuck in 5 labels.
Slow down a bit.
Yeah. Just drag and drop the labels onto the form. Good. So for each one of these, we're just going to label them what we want to say on the form for that field. So this first one, call this fence type. So just do our filter again on the property editor side, right hand side of your design, it's laid out the same line. Type in text. Change the text label to has dog, not in capitals. Has dog. The labels don't matter, or anything you want. The main, I'll show you the main thing that matters, but the labels can be anything that want, just text basically. So, has dog, the next label, call this one pool type. Fence type. Alright, don't lay out too much yet, we'll fix it up. We'll go next. Inspector. And
Just type in the label directly by double clicking that label.
F2 or double click, I think.
Well, just double click.
Yeah, double click's fine.
That's fine.
Double click the label to go into edit mode as well. So. So have a compliant label as well. So that's cool, we've got labels. That's not very useful. Can't do much with that. So the has dog is a checkbox. So we can search for checkbox over on the side. It's under the buttons category. If you want to search for it manually in this. So just drag the checkbox onto the form next to your has dog. Like that. Might just slide stuff up because checkbox has a label, you don't need an extra label for it. That's okay. So the checkbox is the same as the label because it has a label built into it. Left or right side, you can change that. You can press F2 or double click to go into edit mode in that checkbox and call it a question mark, or you can call it has dog, and we'll get rid of that label. Either way, if you leave your label there and wipe out the label in the checkbox, you can have the label in the checkbox and get rid of the label. The standalone label, depends on how you want to lay your form out. Just let it back quick. It has dog. So fill type, fence type, compliant. We're going to make those drop downs non-editable, so you can't go and change the data in the database without permission from someone else. So on the side, look for combo box in the widget box on the side. And we're dragging a combo box for each build type, fence type, and compliant. Just put them roughly beside the label you want to be associated with. And when you lay the format later on, it will actually try and associate the label with the combo box. Inspector is just going to be a plain text edit area. So you can just type anything you want there. For a good practice, I'll do it now. Just type in line edit in the widget box. We just drag the line edit down to the inspector label.
video button?
Yes. So some of the controls aren't supported yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to change a lot of the code to make more flexible, to add more in the future. And even use the fine ones to make more widgets and bind to that too. So color pickers and things like that too. So it's just scary code stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all cool, but QGIS uses a convention of the field name, right? The field name to match the control name to bind up. So that's how it works. How it knows which control matches which field and which value should go into that field. So the has dog one currently has, if you search for object name in your properties editor. So everything has an object. The dialog has it. The layouts, which I'll show you later, have that. Labels, checkboxes, so everything. This is how we refer to something in the code later on as well. Just change the has dog thing. We need to match the column name in QGIS. So if we go back to QGIS and have a look at the attribute table, the field itself is called has underscore dog, lowercase. In this case, it is case sensitive. So we have to match that on the control. So on the control, we just do object name has underscore dog. Dogs. We're not. Same with field type, same with fence type, compliant, and inspector. You've got to match the names of the attribute table of the fields. So field type, field underscore type, fence underscore type, compliant and inspector is just the same. Yes. Exactly as you see in QGIS. Okay, so the designer has an object inspector on the side here, which is a good way to quickly just kind of squeeze at what controls you got and make sure the names match up and things like that. So you can see here I've got compliant, fence type, has dogs, inspector. I've also got a button box, which is the buttons down here. Don't need to name it, it's fine. You just handle that for you. We've also got labels. Don't need to label them. Don't need to change the names of those labels unless you want to refer to them code later on. We've also got the tool type combo box. So as you click on these, you'll see that the control highlights and name changes. It's a cool way to get the properties if you want to go through all the combo boxes. You can filter the type and go through and get just the combo box. You cannot ignore that comment. So that's cool. That looks pretty crappy. So you can usually has HTML style layout type, dynamic layouts. So you click on the dialog, just click anywhere in this blank area, or you can click on the dialog in this object inspector. Click up here, you've got layout options. You've got grid, form. So grid is dynamic, and you can lay things out beside each other, and you can take out the whole form. It's a little bit of the form. Form layout is side by side all the way down, and you've got horizontal and vertical layouts. And horizontal and vertical layouts will lay out everything straight down, and you can nest the layouts. So you can have a grid layout, and then inside have a vertical layout for some controls, a form layout, other controls. Like it's pretty scary to start doing that stuff now, trying to maintain. In this case, we'll just click on the form. We'll just get the form layout button. So the grid layout button. That's pretty crap. So the form layout button means we can move this around. See, it snaps into those grids like that. HTML sort of thing has rows and cells. As you polish or something. So we drag this fence type up here, beside it. So you've got these side by side. compliant, so in fact, side by side. Fence compliant, we can click this combo box and drag that right out, so it stretches the whole form. Take the inspector, we can drag that right out, stretches the whole form. See how these change, top one's changed? So it's hard, tricky to get the layout right. You have to experiment, break it. If you want to break out of that layout, because sometimes if you're in grid layout, you're trying to lay out rough idea of a form, it can be pretty restricting. So you click the break layout button. If you press that, it'll actually take away that gridding, automatic gridding, and you can lay it how you want, do it again, and we'll try and get the best fit, and then you just tweak it. That's how I usually work, just like that. Has dogs, you can just go, just stay there. Just stay there. So save your UI file. So just go to File, Save As, or Save. I'll stick it next to the project. So you should have a folder called QGIS Forms Workshop. In this layer here, you should have a QGIS project. You want to save it next to that. It can be anywhere you want. You can point to it. It's just best practice, probably keep it together. But they can live anywhere on the network. You tell the QGIS where to look for it, so it's fine. It's so easy to keep it together. Or I can give it to someone that's not. I can just change the path, that's fine. And the relative path should work, I think. We'll just save it here. We'll just call it. Inspection. It's a UI type. That's all the defaults. If you've got leave the defaults as is, and you just type in the name of the form. So we'll save it in that folder. So the UI files is XML files to generate. So there's no code involved in that, like no Python code, no C++ code. They're reusable in that sense that you can share them around. There's no dependencies on them. If you look in the folder when you save it, there's your UI file. So open this in QGIS. We need to set two things. We need to tell QGIS which fields or which type, genotype. So combo box, check boxes. You have to set up the bindings to the controls basically. The binding with the name is handled automatically. You have to tell it what type control it is on the other end. So we go back into our layer properties for our fields. So it's the same as what we did before, which is this time we're going to start with the checkbox, and we'll set up some extra filtering fence type column. So for the has dog, we want to has dogs. Right? It's a checkbox. So 0 or 1. The checkbox, please yes, no. Yes, no. So we're going to change that. So has dogs, we go to there, we change it to checkbox. So on the form to checkbox. So for representation of check state, make that yes, so Y, and the other one is N. So change that to Y, change this to N. So when we tick the box and hit OK on the dialog, we'll say the Y or the N in the database rather than 0 or 1. And like I said, it's totally flexible. You can put as much as you want. That's what that looks like. So pool type's fine, it's data relation. We already set that up before. The filter on pool type and the key pair thing. Do the same for fence type. So we go fence type, we'll say value relation. We'll grab it from the forms value table. You can use unique values. You can also use the value map. Probably the value map thing is it's per the project, so if you want to just update the table in the database, the user's not going to get that next time over the project. So you have to go to the actual project and update it. It's fine to be a limited set, but the scale is better, I find. You can just have a CSV somewhere. You just will open the CSV, get the data, and put it in the So key is Description value is type. So type is actually what's going to be stored in the database, and description is what's going to show up in the actual combo box. I got this wrong, I'll have to come back and change it. So we don't allow null values, that's fine, we don't always want to force people to check that. Order by values, that's cool too. So filter on this one. Filter's the same as the other one, but we're just going to filter on fence type. So reduce that data set down, give us all the fence type ones, put them into that combo box. This could be more than this. If you wanted to have fence type and an inspector, or a fence type and it has dog, you can do it as well. Cool. Line, we're going to make that. We're just going to make that unique values. Yeah? Just take all the values that are in the database, put them in the combo box and use that. It's fine if you've got data in the database or in your layout. If you haven't got data in there already, it's something you can use. So pre-populate basically. Inspector, we're just going to leave that as a line as it. Just happy to type that. So to provide the UI files to QGIS, this edit UI section. We tell QGIS which UI file we want to use for that layout. So we click on the little three dot button, navigate to where we save the UI file. Now QGIS is looking at in my C users and the folder inspection, that inspection.UI file. So if it's okay on your properties dialog box, go back to your map canvas. We're doing info on the feature now. Get your custom form shot. Yep. Main thing is make sure you've got these set up correctly. Get your edit widgets. And you have the UI provided like this section up here. And then if your edit widgets are set up wrong, if you say a checkbox and you try and you have a combo box on your form, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to know how to solve it. So you get that. So the field name and the object name, it's there, right? Mine is almost going into exception. Yeah, widgets. And it's like I said, if you pick tell it to calendar, it's actually provided a combo box. When I change that code, it'll make it a bit more flexible. Okay. So change that. If you're getting that identify window pop up, tree thing, it's a default setting in QGIS. Okay. Go to settings, options. Into map tools, open feature form. So options, map tools, open feature form if single feature is identified. This way when you click on one feature, you only get the feature form, you don't get the list of single features, which is total points.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I am screen capturing this
Yeah.
so we can
That's
see
fine.
and recording. Yeah, you don't know. So I'll look at it. But yeah, screen capturing for that reason. I'll chop it up, edit it, make it nicer, and distribute it attractive.
This is the best part of the, I understand the form stuff. We can take that and build stuff.
Yeah. So everyone's got that set up. Now when you click on your feature, you get the form. So now that we've got the binding set up correctly, the field name equals object name. It's correctly set up the field type drop-down box, the fence type drop-down box, and compliant drop-down box. These are coming out of the database. These are coming out of the form values table. I think I got that wrong. Go back into your tools properties for a second. I'm going to change something quickly. Go through mess data up into the table. So field type and fence type, we might change the value relation from, so we'll swap these two around. Key and value columns, we'll change them, swap them around. So this is type, and the value column is description. So type and description. So now when you open up your form, you'll get nice names here, rather than the values that are going to the table. There's sort of tricks you can do. Put the first top ones, ordering. There's certain tricks, but the default age is up. The bottom there says most of the default age is this. Check things like that. So you can follow up feature questions.
Another question. At the back there is no selection.
Yeah, that's meant to happen. With the, when you say allow null, no selection actually means there is no selection won't actually go into your table. Just a way of saying thank you. No to the current thing. So it's open up. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be a geometry table if you want. A water mains table, a fittings table, you want to take it over. So you can use geometry table. Yeah, it's just I'm using attribute table. It's a common case. Yeah, you probably just get it. Good, move on. So we take has dogs. So this one here is not inspected. So it's not inspected, it's orange. If we change this to compliant, and we put an inspector in, which is called loop. Just changing it to compliant, drop down box, chuck the inspector's name on there. When you press OK, it will change the value. So it's pushed down to if you open that form up and all the values show up from that feature on that form, the binding's fine. They don't show up when you open the form up to view it. You've probably got some bindings wrong, like maybe just has space in one of the names, something like that. So you've got to check your field name and the object name to make sure they match. Validation is probably something we should add in there to make sure the controls match up. To do info again on that feature, it's got the data on there. So we can change anything, we change tool type, we change the fence type, we go back into it, change. Same has the oldest checkbox. Is everyone comfortable with making forms?
Is there anything you can have it pull up username?
We do that with code. The default value thing was asked over before. We'll probably weed that into that. I'm going to change this next version to be a lot more flexible, allow sort of user-defined functions that I use. I end up using environment variables and things like that that you use with normal features. So it's on the to-do list, basically. Or we can do it in the code if we have issues. Certain users, press the code off. It's one of those things, once we find certain use case, like if you write the same common code as every single user, right? We're not just thinking what the ticket and say, we make this part of the project. Not necessarily still doing a name, but generic enough that you can put any attribute in there. If the value is this, that person is this, it's not.
Oh, that's actually very excellent.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, probably been different ways that lots of points might change all. That would be all those use cases and see what we can Okay, so everyone's comfortable with the form. Everyone's comfortable with the form. We'll probably move on to a little bit of Python stuff.
Yeah, it's just on that form stuff. I think it's a great, you'll appreciate it. It's a great option you can do in QGIS, and hopefully that's got you thinking about what you can use that for. That's just a forward step. But there's nothing stopping you giving a user really stripped down QGIS, hiding a lot of the toolbars, all that sort of stuff, really stripped down, have some forms there, and they can set it to the nonsense. So to the user, it's very simple, but for you, as a GIS administrator or something like that, you can get users to update data for you very, very succinctly. I think it's just showing another level to QGIS. If there's any other points on that, then
This is only a simple example, but I've seen some pretty complicated forms over in Switzerland from the council that they use with tabs, pictures, and date pickers, file pickers, tables that go and get data from that database, somewhere like that.
more random than everything.
For sure.
Yeah, so you can stick your own logo on there and make it look all part of your workflow.
Obviously, we said the file for our values, but I'm sure we should go back to that SQL and databases.
That's a SQL. You mean on the form itself or in this here?
Form values in here.
Yeah, this is a SQL database.
Okay.
I'm sorry, hold on. Shape.
Okay.
But it came from a SQL. I made this from a SQL database and I just clipped it all out.
Okay.
You can.
It could be a live
any layer support. Any layer QGIS supports. So that if it lives in this total, if it lives in this layers list, you can get that. I could go from the parks table if I want to, or the buildings cadastre.
Yeah, so open up a season table.
Yeah, stick a name. A CSV or a DDF. Anything that QGIS supports, throw it in there. Get from it. So
I think a consideration you must just be aware of, I think Lorena and I talked back were pointing to that, is access and permissions. So obviously you just need to try and lock this down a little bit. And you can do that through general SQL. If it's a SQL table, you can just use SQL permissions.
there's a few tricks. Depends.
Same as everyone is.
So moving a bit of Python now. I'm not going to do too much. No one's done it before. But has anyone done it before?
Does anyone not know what Python is apart from Snake?
At least everyone knows what it is. So,
Or no one's saying it?
and variables. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Python to this, mainly just to not do validation. It's dependent on the job you want to task. I'm just going to change the color of the form, depending on what values are in those combo boxes. But you can expand this out to validation or to picture picking, extra logic like getting values from a separate database, from say an asset database or a financial register, and putting it in the form to show history of things like that, which I've done in the past.
What about dependent properties?
Not depending on other fields.
Yeah, so like parent child, category, subcategory.
Not yet, I was thinking about that last night. Finding it, so
That's scary.
He does
I
it.
just think about it all the time. Constantly going. So I thought about it, and there's more work being done on the form stuff. Subforms are getting added next version.
Yeah.
A heap of work being done in Ice government for all that stuff.
So just so you know, and as Mike mentioned at the back then, so Nathan's actually an active developer of QGIS. So when he says, I'll look into it, I'll do it, you actually look.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's not just like we have to go to somebody else, he's actually on there. It's fine.
Yeah. So when I say I'll do it, I'm going to volunteer it. Hope that someone else does it, like not. So that's a Python. So if you've got any text editor you want, Notepad if you're that way inclined. I'll use a different text editor here. We'll use Sublime Text, but you can use Notepad++ or anything like that. The main thing is QGIS can call a Python function when it loads that form up. It passes in the dialog itself, the feature, and the layer to the function. So it's going to. So in Python, you make a function called with the. So we've got a function which is called def. That's how you define a function in Python. We'll call it open. Let's call it open field. First argument is the dialog. If they pass in. The next argument is the layer. So the actual instance object of that layer that you just clicked on. You also get the feature. Feature is clicked on. So from here. So from here we can get access to, if you haven't done any Python before and you have to show up columns and all, that's screencast, it's like that. So from here we can get access to all the dialog data, the layer data, such as name, how many features it has, what's selected, things like that. And the feature itself, like geometry, the attribute table, on the actual attributes of the feature as well. So we start doing some sort of validation stuff. Validation before or after, or if there's on a feature and you're supposed to see that form, you can tell it to nick the form off and then show the form, which is the user things there. You also do the permissions thing here, check for the current user, like show the form, don't show the form, hide everything, things like that. So, first thing we'll do is check if the client value on the feature is open. I'll just skip that and go straight to that's fine. The compliant value on the feature. If it is compliant, we're going to colour the whole, if it's not compliant, we'll colour the whole dialog red. So that way it's pretty much open to see straight away that that's not compliant. You can go in fact and macro and just tell you that already. So we'll make a variable called compliant. The features you can access the data on a feature by doing open square bracket, quotation marks, put the name of the field that you want. The name of the field we want is compliant. We want to convert to a string, so we just do two string. Let's change this. Right, so when it comes out, it's a raw value from the table, and we tell it to convert to a string. This is getting changed in the future, so you don't have to do any of this messy logic here. You'll be able to say this, and I'll give it back to you as a string, and people know what to convert to. And now I can do this one. So if we do a condition on this, we say if compliant is equals non-compliant, not compliant, I'm going to change the dialog box to be completely red. So we'll do, well, in Qt you can have style sheets, like CSS, you go back to your designer, we want to see what style will look good in the dialog. So we click on our dialog box. In the property area we've got style sheet. Style sheet can be used to change colours, font sizes, widths. You can use it to change things dynamically on the dialog box, like the validation stuff, and you can tell it to change the text to red or the form to the field to red. In our case, it changes the whole form to red. So click on the style sheet property, click on the three dots. Look at the style sheet editor, which is like CSS editor. So we're going to add colour, and we're just going to change it, make it red. So when we press OK on that, all the fonts and everything changed to red on the form. Not very nice. You can reference individual labels and things like that and change just that style, the whole dialog, or just that combo box.
Let's still through a style sheet.
Yeah. Or you can say there's properties, the style sheet's nice. Look up. So we'll just take that style sheet, that colour RGB value, we'll just cut that out of there so it goes back to the normal. So we don't want red all the time, we just want red when we're in battle. So we go back to our Python code. So we go dialog, set style sheet. Qt help has this is a Q dialog. There's all the different types of Qt objects. So you look up Q dialog in the help menu on the internet, you'll get all the different properties you can access. Set style sheet is one of the ones that we use this example. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And then he'll put in our colour RGB value. We probably want to put else on here because if it's no, it's not. Maybe it's not safe. So we just need style sheet. So if it's non-compliant, change it to red. Everything else just leave it as is. So save that file. The best place to save this is next to the project file. When QGIS opens a project file, it'll tell its Python, built-in Python engine to look in that project folder for Python libraries. So keep them all sort of together. When you reverse, just look in the project folder and go there's a Python file there for in about 100 other places. So we'll store it next to our project. This is where my project normally lives, in this workshop folder. So we'll call it form, anything you want, .py. The form.py, call it what you want.
It's .py?
Yeah, .py. So that is Python file, lives inside the project, lives where the project is, next to it. Go into QGIS and open up the layer properties for the tools table. I think it's Python init function. I tried to rename it, couldn't think of a better word, so it's not like that now. What I do is add a tooltip to it. So this tooltip there at help, which doesn't font size too big. It tells you basically what functions you contain. It gives you a quick, simple example here of taking the dialog and finding a label of the dialog, or the line edit in that case. So if you need to know what this, how to do it again, you can just hover over that, and it'll show you what the function should look like. The syntax, the dialog feature. But here we're going to put in the name of the file we made, form, but not the .py. So form or open. So there's two parts to Python files. There's the module, which is the form bit, which is the file. and the function within that module. So in this case, it's going to look for a .py file, but it doesn't need the .py in here to tell it that's what it's looking for. So this matches your name of the file, and this matches the function that they call in that file. You can have one file, multiple forms. I've done that before. I've had multiple asset forms, and I've had one validation bit of code, and I've had multiple functions like different things depending on that form. And then in here I just change which form 1, form 2, form 3, depending on which code I want in the same file. Press OK on that. When you do info on your tool, just pick a non-compliant one, which is one of the red ones. Nice. Live demos.
I think it's got compliant.
I did. I'll let everyone. Make sure they match. The company's spelling like me. What happens? Python is dynamic. If you haven't done Python before, it will just make variable names on the fly. So you don't have to tell it which variable names you need. But this here is actually making a variable for compliant, assigning that value to it. If I just make another variable that equals 1, it's making a new variable on the fly. So when it gets to this point here, when I spelled wrong, but that point goes, I don't know what that is, and bad, so I haven't defined it before. And Python executes on the fly as you go. It doesn't build it first, check it first. It runs it, and as it goes, it encounters errors as it goes. So you sort of got to build the test as you go. Don't just build a heap of stuff and then run it and hope it runs all the way. So, fixing that error up, going back into here. Stuff. Is anyone else running yet? Good. If you haven't run it yet, go into the Python file. At the top, add debug mode. There's a trick here. Python, QGIS caches this Python file. If you run it once, it caches it, so you don't have to keep running it every time, like reloading it every time. If you add that debug mode that's true at the top, it'll reload the file every time for you, so you can just write it, run it, and then when you're ready, take that debug mode stuff out and cache it for you. It's just a bit save the processing time, go ahead and script there. Who run it before? Who else run it? If you just run it as follows, everyone else just ignore this. Go to plugins. Go to Python console. Down here, just do import form. So import that file which you made. This is just to get to recache. If you put the debug mode stuff in there first, you won't have to do this recache stuff. Hit import on that. Sorry, no brackets. Just that. Just import space form. And then just type in reload form with brackets. And hit enter. So this reloads that file in the cache so that when it reads it again and learns that there's a debug value in there. Keeps it for you. So now if you run that file on a compliant one, it's normal, it's fine. And it's ready to run on a normal one. So once you've run out of time, you just have to go with what plane originally go over. You can expand on this more, I'll send notes out with this. You can expand on this more and add codes that when you change this value in this drop down box. Because currently it's in the feature, and you do an info, which is fine, but if you change it in here to compliant, it doesn't reflect on the form. So it's no good about that, or anything like that. But the code I'll send out to everyone as a workshop will have access to the combo box, get the value of it, and assign the colour on the dialog, so you can do validation. And the next step up from that is actually checking values in combo boxes, or checking values in line edit, or all the calendar pickers and things like that the same because it's within range. Just a little bit too much of that time spent. So the trick with having the debug mode stuff here, that's probably the most important thing to include if you're working on this stuff. It means I can go in here and change stuff and reload that file every time I click on the feature. So if I go and mess this variable up again, that doesn't exist anymore, that variable doesn't exist anymore. So it'll evolve when I run in here. We'll go back in here, it bails. So I did reload that script, run it again. Take that debug mode, true stuff out, it runs it, caches it, keeps it. So if you click on that feature, it'll still work. The code's changed, so just remember that debug mode stuff. It's in the process, so yeah. Everyone relatively comfortable with that and follow it. Python is an extremely flexible language. If you haven't done it before, I'd probably try it.
Some good online tutorials. I'm not a programmer, but I managed to get my way through it, so it's good stuff.
It's take a bit of practice. Some of the stuff you can do is incredible. So you can have all that user validation stuff. You can get access to environment variables, access to SQL, so the Qt framework, which is QGIS built on. You can access SQL servers through that, do a query that pulls out some values from a different financial database and put it into a table. So probably wouldn't recommend to go in that path straight away. But this type of stuff is fine. Like this is probably better than having nothing at all. Even just a little bit of validation is better than having nothing at all. All that user protection, usernames, casual users versus power users.
Any recommended sites to go to, just some extra Python stuff?
I'll flash them up in the
I'm going to send a resource around after this. I've got some help in there. There's a couple of good books and a couple of online courses that you can go through.
And also existing Intrax clients of DMS, they get QGIS support, part of the support package. Everyone else is that service.
So, any questions with that? Sweet, everyone smash it.
Is there any other questions just leading up to lunch?
Just in regard to the formatting, the custom formatting.
Yeah. You're preempting a few things, so yes, we are looking at the advanced editing. I'm not sure if it's going to make it to the next page. I'll speak to it. But yes, we're looking at advanced editing through QGIS. So, and we're currently trialing Barrett. It's got the Intramaps and QGIS integration. Did we consider that?
Didn't say like generic product, but it did show. I think
We are currently working on live integration between the two. So you can do all that custom stuff and then just pull it straight. So yes, it's Alright, is everyone workshopped out?
I feel like I need to give a round of applause because it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll just give a round of
Oh, well, it's I've got stuff out of that as well. So I think it's great having Nathan here as a resource. We'll give him a bit of a break now.